Hello and welcome. This is a series, it's a chapter from my new book, Lessons from the Floor, What I Learned While Flat on My Back in a Chocolate Crime Scene, which is available now. And this is a chapter that I think is very important, so I wanted to put it out. It's chapter 13 of the book, actually, and it's called The Food Pyramid of Manifestation. So it will be in 4 different parts, short parts, so let's begin. So welcome to part 1 of the Food Pyramid of Manifestation, and this one is entitled, Why It's Built Upside Down. Manifestation has excellent marketing, it really does. It arrives polished, hopeful, and empowering. Get clear on what you want. Visualize the outcome. Feel it as if it has already happened. Raise your vibration, protect your energy, use affirmations, and act as if. Sometimes the mind gives a state prettier language and calls that growth. Stay positive because what you focus on expands. You should trust the universe. And honestly, it is not hard to understand why this appeals to so many people. It offers agency, it offers hope. It suggests that your inner life really matters. It tells you reality is not just a random pileup of bills, grief, bad timing, old patterns, weird family dynamics, and the occasional rash that mysteriously shows up somewhere on your body, right? It tells you there is a direct relationship between your inner condition and your outer life. And that part is actually very true. So people do what they do when they're handed a hopeful framework. They try it out. They make the vision board. They repeat the affirmations. They monitor their thoughts. They try to stay high vibe. They rehearse abundance while their checking account looks actively offended. They rehearse love while feeling unchosen and unwanted. They rehearse peace while their nervous system is vibrating like a shopping cart with one bad wheel, which happens to be the one I always manage to grab. And sometimes for a while, all those things really seem to help. Not always because the reality has changed. Sometimes because hope itself is regulating. Sometimes because focus matters. Sometimes because intention matters. Sometimes because having any framework at all feels better than drifting through life like an abandoned grocery bag in a windy parking lot. To be clear, this is not a chapter about mocking manifestation as a concept. In fact, I've been practicing law of attraction and manifestation for many years. This is a chapter about the way it is usually taught. Because the more I look at the popular version of manifestation, the more it reminds me of the food pyramid. It is widely repeated, it is confidently packaged, and it's accepted for years as the way to do it. But it's oddly upside down, in my opinion. So after practicing sovereign neutral for a while, a few of us finally looked at it and said, wait, why is manifestation built on the wrong base? And that is the issue that I have of it, and that's what we'll get into in this 4-part series. Because manifestation, as commonly presented, in my view, actually starts at the end of the process. It starts with your desired outcome. See the results, feel the results, assume the result, act like the result is already here, and then it will manifest itself, right? But then it asks you to work backwards from that imagined future to your present reality, as though your system can be persuaded into alignment by the sheer confidence of the instructions that you give it. And that is where things start to crack, because most people are not starting from a state of coherence when they do this. One problem with manifestation teaching is that it confuses high vibration with emotional excitement. But excitement is not a home state, it is a surge. You can only visit it, you can't live there. People are taught to stay elevated, upbeat, enthusiastic, positively charged. And when they cannot hold that state for very long, because no human really can, they assume that they are doing it wrong. But excitement is not the same as coherence. A person can feel very high and still be noisy, grasping, conflicted, and still full of internal contradictions. That is not alignment, that is just pure intensity. Sovereign neutral is different. Sovereign neutral may feel calmer, but calm is not the same as being a low vibration. Calm can actually be cleaner, truer, less distorted, and because of that, actually more potent. A real high energetic state, then, may not feel ecstatic. It may feel quiet, grounded, A higher frequency doesn't mean louder and more intense. In my view, it is just more focused. Because the noise has dropped out, the static has been lessened. If manifestation works at all, it makes more sense that it works through coherence rather than sheer performance. Intensity burns hot, coherence holds. So, before we talk about what we want to manifest, maybe we need to ask what state we're manifesting from first. All right, I'll see you in part 2.